Lucian Goins. If you're a pickleball fan, remember that name. Actually, you should have already remembered that name. He beat Ben Johns back in Cape Coral in March, but I'll give you a pass. He's just 17 years old, and he just won his very first PPA title, and winning a title as a teenager bodes pretty well. According to my boy Eric Tice, he joins Annalie Waters, Gabe Tardio, Georgia Johnson, Hayden Patriquin, and Wang Yun as the only teenage title winners. Pretty good company. In this video, we'll go through how he won his first title, what the future looks like for him, cover everything that happened at the PPA event in Bristol this weekend, and, of course, make a definitive list of pickleball players and their SpongeBob comparisons. First, as a thank you for 50,000 YouTube subscribers, I partnered up with Lobster Sports, and we're going to be giving away the Pickle by Lobster to one person that subscribes to the channel and follows Lobster Sports on Instagram. We're almost there, so make sure to subscribe and follow to enter. The PPA was back in Bristol, Tennessee for the first time since San Clemente back in June, and we were using the Lifetime Ball. Now, this is the third tournament with the Lifetime Ball, but one thing has been consistent. The Lifetime Ball is shaking up the singles rankings. Its faster pace and higher bounce seem to favor harder-hitting ground strokers over cat and mouse players. Tyson fell first round to David Beeger, Ben lost to Max Freeman, Lucian Goins took up Connor Garnett, and Federico lost 12-10 in the third to Gabe Joseph. Fed has probably been the most vocal about disliking the Lifetime Ball, and after the match, he took out his frustrations on the bench. But the upsets didn't stop there, and we ended up with semifinal Saturday matchups of the 15th-seeded Gabe Joseph versus 14th-seeded Noah Cleef on one side, and the 7th-seeded Christian Alshon and versus the 19th-seeded Lucian Goins on the other side. All that stuff is cool, but something even cooler happened. Dylan Fraser rocked a SpongeBob SquarePants paddle and outfit, so obviously later in the video we're going to look at each SpongeBob character and their corresponding pro pickleball players. On the women's side, the singles title was anybody's ballgame, with both Annalie Waters and Kate Fahey choosing not to play. Anna Bright made a return to the singles court for the first time since Milwaukee last November, and she made some noise. She seemingly went in with pretty low expectations, and that can definitely help a player play free and go for their shots. As the 40th seed, she took out Martina Frantova in 3, pulled off a pretty huge upset over the number 3 seed Leah Jansen, who's been playing really well in singles lately, and then she steamrolled Georgia Johnson before falling to her shot teammate Judith Castillo in the quarters. Things got a little bit feisty after the match as well, with some cheating accusations, so it's going to be interesting to see if the MLP teammates are able to bury the hatchet before the playoffs next week. There were hardly any upsets on the women's side, leading to a semifinal matchup of Caitlin Christian versus Judith Castillo and Brooke Buckner versus Paris Todd. Mixed doubles on Thursday was relatively uneventful, other than Julie Johnson intensely watching her kids play and Christian Alshon putting his foot down against Hayden Patriquin. No, literally. Take a look at this.
Quality team together, so props to them. Well earned, well.
That's getting very close to a distraction, I agree.
In the middle of points, Christian is stomping his feet. Distraction? Give me a break. Is it annoying? Of course. Is it unsportsmanlike? Obviously. But should it be called a distraction? No, absolutely not. I'm glad Donna didn't actually end up calling a distraction, but it was getting close to a distraction. That's a joke. Let the boys play. The top 4 seeds all progressed to semifinal Saturday. Now, there were a decent amount of upsets in men's doubles as well, including Dow and Scarpa beating Noah and Dylan, Zane Ford and Alex Crum beating Colin and James Delgado, Tyson and Max Freeman beating JW and Andre, and Matt Wright and Jaume Martinez-Vich beating Hayden and Fed. They're actually down 8-3-1 in the third and made the comeback. Take a look at this match point. Jaume catches Fed, and Matt is pumped up. We've got a chest bump. And another chest bump.
But wait, there's more!
One more chest bump. But the chest bumps, they didn't stop there. In fact, they continued on semifinal Saturday when Matt and Jaume came back from a first-game pickle to Max and Tyson to win in 3 games. Caitlin Christian beat Judith in straights, who set up a matchup against Paris, who defeated Brooke in 3. Lucian Goins dropped the first game to Christian Alshon, but won the next 2, pulling off shots like this, sending him to his first PPA final, where he'll face off against Gabe Joseph, who defeated Noah Cleef on the other side. Either 15th-seeded Gabe Joseph or 19th-seeded Lucian Goins would take home the gold, and it would be the highest seed to ever do it on the PPA Tour. But what do both of these players have in common? That's right. Both fell to me at the Atlanta Slam earlier this year. Anyway, J-Dub and Georgia took out Anna and Andre in straights, and some of the points were just crazy. Ben and Anna Lee crushed Christian and Catherine in 3 and 2. Let me know what you think of the foot stomp in the comment section. Is it part of the game or is it a distraction? In women's, Georgia and Rachel took out Tyra and Paris in straights, and Anna Lee and Anna Bright beat Catherine and Jade. I still wonder why Tyra and Georgia don't partner up for all of the PPA tournaments. I think that that's the pairing that has the best shot against the juggernaut team of Anna Lee and Anna Bright. Catherine and Rachel seem to play pretty well together as well, but that does leave Paris on the outs. And on Championship Sunday, Anna Lee and Anna Bright proved this to be the case with a 11-6, 11-3, 11-1 win. The two still haven't lost a single game together, and I personally think that they're going to go the rest of 2025 without dropping a game. And yes, I'm saying game. Not a match, but a game. Ben and Gabe made easy work of Matt Wright and Jaume, ending their awesome run. The biggest loser of the week was definitely Jim Kloss, who predicted that Matt Wright wouldn't win a single medal in 2025. He was shamed for it, and rightfully so. Matt proved him wrong. In singles, Paris took out Caitlin in 2 very tight games, and the match of the day was definitely the mixed doubles matchup between Ben and Anna Lee and J-Dub and Georgia. None of the games themselves were particularly close, but they kept splitting and giving us some pretty insane points. Eventually, Ben and Anna Lee took it home in 5 games, setting up the last match of the day. 19th-seeded 17-year-old John Lucian Goins, Johnny G, versus 15th-seeded Gabe Joseph. Johnny G won a tight first game, dropped a tight second, and ran away in the third. But what actually makes him so good? Well, he just has an incredibly complete game without any noticeable weaknesses. He can hit hard passes on both wings, and he can also dip the ball cross-court on both wings. He serves heavy and deep and returns well. He moves well, and most importantly, he's long. He's over 6 feet, and he's got long arms. If there's a weakness in his game, it's his net play. But he doesn't need to be perfect from the net since he's still so difficult to pass because of his length. I'm going to go out on a limb and say that he has actually the most complete singles game in pro pickleball, and he's only going to continue to get better. He probably got so good by hitting on his Pickle by Lobster ball machine. Reminder to subscribe for a shot to win. But will all of these players even be on the PPA Tour come 2027? Check out this video to see what's going on behind the scenes with current contract negotiations. And last but not least, these videos take a ton of time to find all the clips. If you're interested in being part of the creation team for these videos by helping to find some clips, please shoot me a DM on Instagram and we can make these videos even better. All right, the moment you guys have all been waiting for: which professional pickleball players are which SpongeBob characters? And we're going to do that right here. Starting off, obviously, with SpongeBob. SpongeBob's a tricky one because not too many people fit that mold. If I had to vote, I'm going Jaume. He's likable, he's funny, he's always sort of goofing around. I feel like he's a good SpongeBob. And since Dylan wore the shirt, I feel like Dylan's got to be Patrick. He kind of talks like him just a little bit. Kind of is like pretty chill, laid back. So I'm going to go Dylan for Patrick. Plankton, we got Hayden Patriquin. A little bit smaller, a little bit of an attitude. I feel like that's reasonable. Somebody had to be Plankton, and I can't think of anybody better for it. So if you've got somebody else in mind, let me know. Sandy Cheeks, I feel like, is Rachel Rohrbacher. She's got that yell. She's got that excitement. She's like very positive, energetic all the time. I feel like she's a good Sandy character. Plankton's wife, Karen, I feel like is Ben. Ben is like very robotic, very meticulous, very calculated. So I feel like that's a decent one there. Gary, also, we've got J.W. Johnson. You know what you're going to get. Trusty, and, not too many words. So Gary, J.W. Johnson. Larry the Lobster, we've got Grayson Golden. I think they just kind of have like the similar build. Like I feel like they've got like a kind of a wide upper body and like smaller or like skinnier legs. Not saying that like Grayson has skinny legs, but kind of fits the build. I don't know. I can just see it. Obviously, Perch Perkins, we've got Dave Fleming. That one sort of speaks for itself. The Maddie Pickles pointed this one out. We got a Maddie Pickles mention. The 2 hours later. That's got to be Jay de Villiers, obviously. French sounding, I think. Fancy Squidward, we've got Johnson Cola. Like, I don't know. I really don't really have a good reason for that one. It just seems like it kind of fits. Camilla pointed that one out on Instagram or Twitter or whatever it was. Uh, Princess Mindy from the movie. That feels like Paris Todd. I feel like that kind of even wears some of the same things. Squidward, obviously we've got Colin. They kind of talk similar to one another. I feel like they act similar in some ways too. So Squidward is obviously Colin. And then Mr. Krabs, we've got Connor Pardo. He's the owner of, and he's about his business, all that stuff. So Connor Pardo, Mr. Krabs. Now, here's the final question I've got for you. What SpongeBob character do you think I am? And did we miss anything here?